But I think we've been knocked around a bit. I think that for those of us, for instance, who were so involved in the Barack Obama campaign,
mm-hmm.
we thought that that campaign was our miracle. And I think that there's a lot of stunned silence right now. There's way more same old in the air than we thought we were voting for.
I wasn't stunned.
The Obama?
Yeah.
A lot of people have told me that. You were duped, Marianne. And I'm like, really? Well, I was.
I was suspicious.
Yeah, I was, and I bought it hook, line, and sinker.
He wasn't my first choice.
Mm-hmm. He wasn't my first choice, but once I surrendered, I totally surrendered.
He was my first choice until I surrendered. And when
Tell me what happened then.
In my previous incarnation, I was a media consultant. So I know how the game is played. And I saw how sophisticated his use of the tools were and the people he surrounded himself with. It's one thing for former President Clinton to go on Arsenio Hall and play the saxophone to identify himself as the first rock and roll president. It's another thing to graduate to a campaign that utilizes Twitter and MySpace and Facebook and all those devices. But all these decisions are made by media consultants and advisors for the same objective. So I had to put aside all of the cosmetics of issues that reflect upon the immediate destiny of the universe, and to quote an old rock and roll tune, not be fooled again. No, my first choice was Dennis Kucinich.
Mm-hmm.
People were forever talking me into the concept of, quote, not throwing your vote away. And then I was left with two choices, and one was completely unacceptable, so I found myself in the lap of our present president. And of course, I, wish him well.
Oh, me too. I totally wish him well, and I totally hope that his presidency, I understand the huge stress points there, but so much is at stake. I hope that that his governance will realign itself with the values and perspective, unless I just projected those values and perspectives of the campaign. But absolutely wish him well, and hope that this all turns out just marvelously for us all.
I hope so too. But for the record, I am tremendously concerned. I am not one of those people who have that cavalier attitude about, well, worst that can happen, the nuclear bombs go off and Earth is devoid of Homo sapien for a couple of 100,000 years, and suddenly something will crawl out from the swamp and develop feet and stand up straight, and here we are again, and we are insignificant beings in the lapse of the time. No, I reject all that. I leave that all to intellectuals and people having conversations in college dorms. It's not the way cowboys talk.
I don't think it's the way anybody who's ever loved a child would talk.
It's not the way anybody who has loved a child would talk.
Mm-hmm.
As usual, well put.